Alrighty. TGIF, thank goodness it is Friday. How much good work can I get done over the weekend? We'll see what happens. Alright, Doc here from North America. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And then let's see what they're doing. They're buying dollars. Surprise. And what did I say? I think interest rates are going down. I don't like to see that when they're buying dollars and interest rates are dropping in the States. Something's brewing. We'll see. Let's see what we got here this morning. Double checking. I see all the screens look good. Excellent. I hear the voice. All right, now here's the Swiss against the dollar, and you can see it's trying to perk its little head up right there, trying to lift it up, and you can see the white line is even going after the time manifold, which is very fascinating. But obviously, we are in a weekly sell now for going on the fourth week, and it's not going to change today, that's for sure, unless they rip it to the moon. Looking over here on J4X, you can see same situation. It'll start to turn green there soon. And you can see the, what do we got here? We got the white line starting to move up a little bit. We'll see what kind of strength kicks out on that. And that's the signs that are surprising me solely because, let's show you, let's go over to it. We'll go take a look at the 30-year. Or isn't it right there? You see it's lifting up, went into the buy last night. It's down a little tad, but that is a little surprise. In other words, when this rises, interest rates are dropping. And why do you buy dollars when interest rates are dropping? You would normally think you would buy them when they're rising. So, like I've said before, 5,000 years of normal financial philosophy has been adjusted for quantitative easing over the last I guess it's heading on to the last 14 years now, or these last 14 years. So the currency trading has a little more exotic characteristics to it than what it used to have. It's very, a lot of different things going on. Central banks are now the major players. All right, same thing's going on. I noticed. I don't want to go there. I want to go to the euro. Euro on the wall, right there. Doing the same thing. It's flirting down, even breaking the time manifold and starting to pretend that it's heading for a daily sell. And it's doing a good pretending thing. It's broken the zero line, histogram and white line are minus. The weekly hasn't adjusted itself. You see there, still in a weekly buy. Going on that 4-week situation, just like the way the Swiss is. Let's put it over here on J4X. All right. Right there we are. And so we're seeing some dollar buying. It could be just profit taking. Remember, there are traders out there who like to make money. So what happens is that they're making money and they sell if they're long, and if they're short, they buy back. In other words, they're trying to take some profits in here. That's why you see the markets, do the fluctuations. You see that saber-tooth action as you see here. It doesn't just go like one solid line straight up to the moon. It goes in and out. You can see it here on Chicago Quant. It goes up, it goes in a little, push down a little bit around in here, and then you can see like a daily sell for a day or two, and then it jumps back up again. That's just profit taking. So we'll see if this plays itself out by the end of the day and we go into a daily sell, and then we start to see the weekly trend change next week, or we see perking its head up after 5 or 6 hours today after the European close, maybe something of that nature, because maybe that's where the profit taking is coming from. We'll see. As time goes on, it always kind of presents itself. Patience is what it is. All right. Then we slip over to, and there's no questions so far. It's quiet. Yesterday was a great day. Lots of questions. It was fun. We like questions. Lots and lots of questions. Let's go over to the cable, the British pound, dollar against British pound. You can see he's doing the same thing now, doing the little flirt here, trying to do that little sell thing. And you can see here, same situation. Last week it went into the weekly buy, and it was a nice little push up, the winner chicken dinner. And we'll see it over here on J4X. Ta-da-da-da, right there. And there is what it is. You can see even a red little development going on right there. And you can see this going after the little white line. The white line's going after the dotted line, so we're seeing that pressure. Remember last time it did that? You see the little weakness that kicks in here. Same as last time this thing went through, or the last time it goes down again. So that is the action we're seeing here on the currencies. We're seeing a little strength in the dollar today, and I'm trying to think, do we have news, or did we have news? Let me just take a look at the stocks real quick. There is the inverse. Let's see. There it is right there. Kind of a little action, nothing major. So I don't think any real news has popped out. Let me just double check what the news, what the economic. Let's go to the Dukascopy economic calendar and see if there's anything going on here today. What is today? Today's the last day of the month, right? So GDP was probably last week, right? Let's see. Let's see what it says here. No, that's not that one. Get rid of that. And there it is right up top. Trading. There's the economic calendar. Let's see what's going on today. See if there's anything really predominant. Let's see. And today is Friday. And we have core personal consumption. Okay. Yeah, so it's moderate. We're not really seeing anything large coming out today. So next week will be the jobless claims again. And that's where we'll be moving back, because the first of the month is tomorrow. All right. Now let's drift back over to the currencies, and we'll go take a look at the. I think we're doing that game again where we're watching the euro against the Turkish lira and the dollar against it. So we go to there, and there is the dollar against the Turkish lira. You see it's trying to push up here this morning, trying to do the buy thing. This weekly, look at this action in the weekly. It's just not turning up whatsoever. This plateau here has really got it trapped. But you can see we're starting to put a little strength into it. Now let's go take a look at, I just want to refresh that too. Let's take a look at the euro against the Turkish lira right there. We talked about this yesterday, and we even named the webinar after it. You can see here it's doing the same exact thing. What we basically, I guess we can make that a green in case it goes green for us. What we realized when we did this before, about 5 or 6 months ago, is that the Turkish lira, euro Turkish lira is more accurate predicting direction, but we get less trades out of it. Whereas the dollar Turkish lira is less accurate, but we get more trades out of it. And so more profitable trades. That's the thing. More profitable trades. Not just trades, but profitable trades. So that's what the problem is, that when you look at the euro against the Turkish lira, it's very accurate, but we get less profitable trades out of it. And vice versa. Not that we get more losses. It's just there's less trades. Just literally less trades. And vice versa. When looking at the dollar Turkish lira, we get more profitable trades out of it, and but there are less accurate trades, which doesn't mean much, but it is something that what it basically comes down to is that the dollar Turkish lira, you make more money in it, which is odd, because the euro Turkish lira is more accurate, but it doesn't allow you to make the trades. So that's what the issue is all about there. And I remember that in the beginning, I thought, wow, this is exciting. This could be a really good tool. But in the end, we realized it after like a couple of weeks that it didn't. But someone yesterday during the webinar asked about the Turkish lira and the euro Turkish lira pairs trade, and I thought, it's kind of fascinating. Let's keep an eye on it. It is kind of fun, but after a while, people will get used to the idea that it's just not as profitable. It's profitable. It makes money. It just doesn't make. It misses a lot of trades. But it's accurate on telling us things. So it's a real quagmire there. It's a real well, Doc, does it make money or it doesn't? Yeah, they both make money. So it's just that it's just not as active, the euro Turkish lira, because in a case like here, I'll give you an example, and then we'll walk away from this crazy conversation. You can see here it went into the sell back here in December 18th and has been in a sell ever since. Okay, so you can't take any buys out of that. And there's been some good buys, like that move right there. You can see the daily buy there. That was a wonderful winner chicken there. And so it does that. It doesn't allow you to get into a lot of trades, whereas vice versa, looking at the dollar Turkish lira, and we'll just not beat this to like a rented mule in Death Valley. But you can see here, it goes into the sell here on December 21st. And you can see then it goes back into a buy here and catches this move up in here. And then it goes into a sell again and so forth. You know, and it's more dynamic in a sense. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Sounds a little crazy, but just what it is. All right, now we jump over to Canadian right there. You can see Canadian is just drifting nicely down. Just a 1 week and a weekly sell with that. What's that? Let me see how many days is that. Line 20 on the fact check spreadsheet. We are 7 days going on the 8th day in the sell, teamed up with the weekly sells, so you can trade it as a hard delta. Not everybody here trades binaries or options, so we have to give you the most accurate technical analysis possible, because we don't want people around here to get in trouble and end up putting on positions in large, overly powerful to their portfolio and get burned. So what we try to do is we try to show you the most accurate, most highly percentage success wins that are out there. So it's a combination of money management and following both the weekly and the daily. Whereas if you're trading binaries and options, you don't have that risk factor. You already know what your risk is. You put your position on, boom, and that's the way it rolls. Mohammed, can I miss? No, you did not miss. And it wouldn't matter if you did miss. We would go right back to it again. Yes, we started off with the Swiss. But in trading, there are no dumb questions. And so, ask anything. Okay? Don't be worried that you missed something. So yeah, what we're seeing this morning overall is the Swiss is telling us that they're buying the dollar. And we're seeing it in all the pairs trades. But at the same time, we're seeing interest rates drop here in the States, which is like scratch my head. Like, what? Usually you want to buy the currency that the interest rate is rising on, not collapsing on. So, yeah, that's what's going on with the Swiss this morning. It's lifting its head up, and you can see it here with the bond. You can see it here with the currency itself, that pair between the saltine and the dollar. And then we can show it to you again on J4X over here. You couldn't even see it here. There we go. Yeah, so it's trying to lift up, but you can see our quants are kind of holding back a little bit in there. So it's not anything major. We're thinking it could be just profit taking, nothing major. We'll see. If the thing explodes, then we know that it was the warning of it all, and because of the fact that the bonds are shifting also at the same time. So there you go, Mohammed. There is the dollar Swiss, or the Swiss dollar, or it's one of the above. All right. So you're welcome to ask more questions if I didn't answer that, and don't worry. Remember, in trading, there are no dumb questions. There are only long answers or short answers, and everybody just had to put up with me doing my long answer to the euro against the Turkish Lira and the dollar against the Turkish Lira. All right, and so you can see on the Canada is doing just fine, moving down. It's been in its weekly sell, and it's been a wonderful winner chicken dinner. And you can see this thing's trying to bury itself. Now, we would assume that we're seeing some pressure in the oils market. No, that's the opposite, actually. And I know the answer because I remember saving the chart this morning, and it was down, and I was like, what? And so you would assume, because of the way the Canadian is moving down, that we would see strength in the oil market, but we're not. And then when we drift over to NASCAD, let's see what that's doing. That I did not look at. NASCAD is moving down, so that's usually indicative of weaker oil. So it's a little confusing there. We're seeing two different pathways being shown there. Now let's go over and check out Mr. and Mrs. Oil. Right, right there. There it is. And you can see we've thrown it into the warning that it's going into a daily sell. It was a nice winner chicken dinner. It went into the weekly buy last week, and we got the buy signal here, and it went up, and it was yay for us, hooray for us. And then and now today it's they're smack-a-doodling it. They're knocking it down. What do you think next week where where we're going with the Swiss? Well, that's a good question. What we'd like to see is let's go back to the Swiss for a moment. I can give you a visual on that. What we'd like to see is not like, but to give you what you would like to see if you're looking for. Let me just read that again. So, what you think next week where it's going? Well, right now it's still telling us we're in a downtrend. So it's saying that the Swiss wants to go down in value. Now, this little action we're starting to see right here could be just profit taking and nothing else. This could all be profit taking at the moment. Oh, let's go back to that again here. There we are. So this action right in here could be just be profit taking. Now, if this white line and the histogram get going up again, and we start to see this turn up on the weekly, then we would assume that there's going to be pressure on the upside. But right now, I just think it's profit taking, nothing more than that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Middle Age, how you doing? Yeah, I realized that. I realized I had the J4X in front of it. So yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to, and that's why markets rarely go in one solid direction throughout a day. What happens is that you have people buying it, and then they try to take some profits and they sell it, and then vice versa, or they're short it and they're buying it back, and so that's the action. So I would say that probably this will stay in its trend, but right now we're watching profit taking, and we'll have to see how long that goes on for, which means that it's trying to go up. Now, that doesn't insinuate that next week, it's going to, go through the roof or something like that. We just have to follow the numbers each day and see how it's acting. That's pretty much what I was explaining to Daniel yesterday, is that, the idea of projecting out, we know one thing for sure right now, and that is it's in a weekly sell. It's still in a daily sell. So what does that tell us, traders? We know that it's pretty much in a downtrend. Will it be in there next week? We'll find out. Every day is a new day. And so that's why we're real big fans of binary options and regular options, and just we like that limited risk factor. If you're going to try to be long in the product or you want to be short in the product, it's much easier to be in the options. Unless you already have inventory, then you can do the do the spot or the futures or something like that. Because now you're just offsetting. All right, I hope that answered it for you, Mohammed. All right, now let's jump over to, where do we go here? We go to, let's see, what do we do? Oh, okay, so we're at the energy sector. That's what it is. Now what we do is we drift into the energy sector, unless someone has a question, and then I'll just stop what I'm doing and we'll go check it out. But right now you can see here, oil trying to work its way down. And at the same time, we see that natural gas, I think, did the same thing. It's going into a daily sell. Also, we're seeing a little pressure in the energy sector. Now, you can see here today it's popped its head back up again. So it could be nothing more than profit taking. Look, we're 2 full weeks in a weekly buy, going to be confirmed totally 100%. 3 full weeks in a buy. It's where we are right now. It's been that way all week long. So I'd have to interpret this more as profit taking than anything else. Matter of fact, look at the red dot has been washed away since we refreshed it. So this thing is, this gets the gas line 3 back into the plus sector. This thing could go through the 300 area. This thing could move up even more since we're showing a lot of strength here. Now, when we go back and look, we've seen this thing this high up, and it still carries itself for a while. And we've seen some weird stuff out of it. That gap down and then a gap up, and then it goes sideways for almost a whole week, and then gaps up again on was that like the Monday? That was the Friday, I guess. Yeah, so that was like the Friday. It gaps up on the Friday. So there was a lot of gaps in this product at that time. At the same time, you couldn't take any of these shorts in here solely because why, traders? We're in a weekly buy, see, throughout that whole event. So all you're allowed to do is take the longs. Unless, again, you're trading the binaries or the options. All right, so that's one part of the energy sector. And then we can go and check this out. Where's it at? We did an article yesterday on bean oil, which we always like to consider part of the energy sector. I'm going to show you what the robo-gas is doing. This is the fuel for automobiles. You can see that had been very strong. It closed in a weekly buy. No, it's been in a weekly buy for a long while, all the way back to December. See that there? Since December, we've been in December 9th. We've been in a weekly buy, so it's only been one-sided trades of being long or you're wrong, one or the other. In other words, if you're trying to short this thing in a weekly buy, you could get trapped in stuff. And so you can see here the fuel has been doing that. Now, today, you can see there they're pressing it down. Let's give it a refresh. And you can see at the beginning of the week, we even tried to go into a weekly sell, but that didn't survive long, did it? It rolled over and lifted right up with the daily buy. So it tried to get into it and failed at it. I don't know which day it was, but you can see here now the line has been pretty much all week long in the upside. Flirting during the day into the minus and then back up again. Now, let's see if we can do this. I'm just going to go into a chart we sent out this morning instead of opening something up. Let's see, where's that at? It's around here somewhere. I'll find it in a second. What we're going to show you is the bean oil itself. There it is right there. So we're going to put bean oil up there in a chart form or a picture, not live. Right there. There we go. And there it is. And you can see here. I wonder if I can go like that. Oh, look at that. That's neat. When I go like that. Yeah. You can see here. We've been. This is no, wait a minute. Oh, okay. It's not doing. I'm going through different charts. That's what it is. I want to go back to that bean oil. That's silver. That's a directional thing. Let's do that again. We're going to close this. I thought we were expanding the chart itself. There it is. And you can see here, we've been in a weekly buy since here. And the last time we went into a weekly buy, it was in the 30s. And it took all the way up into like 53, 54 to go into a sell. And now we went into the weekly buy and daily buy here. It was on a mad rampage. And we're still, holding up. And this is bean oil. And so, you can see the strength in this stuff. Oh, good, Muhammad. I'm glad. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Love questions. There are no wrong questions in trading. There are no dumb questions in trading. There are only long answers or short answers. That's all there is. That's all there ever is. Okay. Yeah, so the bean oil is like the fourth of the energy tools that we look at, really. And, it's something you can eat, and you can put in salad dressing, and you can, fry French fries in it, all kinds of things with bean oil. At the same time, you can burn it. And so we always think of it as an energy product at the same time. So, there's a strength in the energies, but you can see right now or last night it was pushing into the sell. Hadn't gotten there, but they were putting some pressure on it. Matter of fact, I guess I should go live on it. Let me go live on it. Let's see where it's at, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I was hoping not to open it up. Right there, not there, right there. There it is. There it comes. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yes, indeed. Okay, so there it is there, and in the end, now it's projecting a daily sell. Interesting, since we've looked at it again this morning. Very interesting. Very interesting. So it went into the daily sell on a live chart. Okay, and we're just flirting with it again here. Now, you can see here, this product has been fighting that. I mean, we went into a weekly buy in this product. Where was it? It was right here in late October. And this thing's, and that was in the 33, 34 area. And it stayed in a weekly buy all the way until here in April. It was at April 9th. right? And then next week we went into a buy again for that blow off top, and now we're doing a little flirting on the downside and the sell. And you can see here, right here, but the weekly is pretty high up. I guess we can contract this down a little bit to see how it's curved. I don't think it has. I think it's still rising. See, the green line is still rising. So we'll see how next week brings out. But that's the other energy out there. All right. Let's see. Now let's jump. Where do we go to? What were we looking at? Oh, energies. So now what we've done the energies. Unless someone has a question, we drift over to the currencies again, and we take a look at the ruble. So there it is right there. And we go to the ruble. You can see the ruble's trying to lift into a daily buy today. You can see we are pretty clearly going to be closing in a weekly sell, which is a very nice thing as far as I'm concerned. And you can see that right there. We will be putting that line in there like that by the end of the day or tomorrow or something like that, because more than likely it will close in the weekly sell. So this is going to be cool. Maybe this is always nice. You want a nice way to get going in something. Sometimes can be, this is like some of the best. You get into a weekly sell and you go into a daily buy, and then when the daily sell kicks out to join in, boy, sometimes it can be scrumptious. Oh, nice and profitable. Yes, indeed. All right, so that's the ruble. Then we go to the yen right there. You can see the yen lifting up, and you can see the weekly is trying to tighten up a little bit in here. We just went into the weekly sell here, and we were in a long daily sell. It went on for a while there, and now we've jumped into the daily buy here, keeping you from being short, and it's trying to get into the weekly buy there on the yen. Now we head over to the Mexican peso right there, and what we might do too is check out we'll check out the South African rand, see what the metals market is doing, because there's a good correlation between the two. And you can see here it's flirting with a daily sell again. And we're in that weekly sell since way up in here in almost the 20.5, 20.75 area. So, and then went into that long daily sell like that, and then went into the buy a few days ago, and it lasted for 3 full days. And now it's trying to flirt with the daily sell again right there. So we'll see how that plays itself out. And let's give it a refresh too at the same time, just to make sure it's all accurate. Yep. All right. Now let's jump over to the South African rand, and then we'll go to the metals market. We'll go look at silver and gold and so forth. And where's it out here? And that is right there. Dollar rand. And you can see here, it went into the buy here, went into a sell the next day again. So you take that short because we're in a weekly sell. And then let's see, what do we do here? So that does that. In the end result, it's a loss. I can see that much. And then we take this one and remove that, right? Because we went into the buy here. But you can't take the buy because why, traders? Oop, let's move it over. You can't take the buy because we're in a weekly sell. So you couldn't take the buy, so you don't lose any money. And now you could buy this one yesterday, right there. And it's a winner, winner, chicken dinner again. See, that's why we emphasize constantly you must coordinate. If you're trading the Forex or the hard delta or the futures, you've got to correlate the weekly with the daily. It'll keep you safe. And with the green and red dots, combined all three together. All right. Now, so if this is going up, I think that means metals should be weak. Did anybody see that sell-off they did yesterday morning in gold? I thought that was like, what? Looked like a big slam into the thing. Let's see what this shows here. Yeah, they drove it down into the 54 area. I mean, the day before it had closed at, was it 77? It was down $19 on some of that economic news. And then you can see here it's trying to perk its head back up again. We're in the weekly buy here, so you would think that we would start to see some action in it. You can keep on seeing these volatility dots kick out. We'll see how that plays out. And today it was looking for, let's refresh that. We were looking for this to confirm, and we're not getting that. So we'll move that over. It's just on the edge, I think. Let's see. Right there. What is that? Oh, yeah, it is. It's plus. Okay, so right now we are flirting with that weekly buy. That's why the line is in there. We are not weekly. I'm sorry, daily buy. We're flirting with it, but we got a red dot in there too. So it's not confirmed until we get rid of the red dot or the next day. It's higher than where it settled today. All right. Now they're the four rules we all pay attention to: weekly, daily, red and green dots. And when red and green dots and volatility, the next day has to be higher than previous day's close, and that confirms the short-term buy in it. All right, now, or vice versa, the short-term sell. All right, now let's head over to, let's see, what's that? That's gold. And it looks like no problem holding up in that weekly here, so that's staying like that. Now let's go check out silver. Now silver has been fighting for 3 days. Look at this, 3 volatility day dots. Let's see if that's still holding up. Let's give it a refresh. Yep. And today it's disappeared. And you can see here now it is flirting with the daily buy right there. And we've been in a weekly buy for 3 full weeks. This is the 4th full week. And so maybe this thing will get some strength in it, lose some sellers, and move up even higher. Just check out the copper. Copper's like on mad rampage. Look at that. Let's give it a refresh, but it's like, I don't know, 2-year highs. Just keeps on marching up. And you can see we've been in a daily buy since here. And the same thing with the weekly buy there. So it's been marching in one direction for the last 5-6 days, and that is up, up, and away. And this was all the correction in here, and even then it battled with it. It had a hard time. The short was okay here. And it was long from here all the way through to that simple short that lasted just a few days and then went right back into a buy. And you couldn't take the long because we were in a weekly unless you're doing the options in it. And then jumped into the daily buy and a weekly buy, and then it's winner, winner, chicken dinner right there. All right, now we drift over to, let's see, what's the last one? Oh, we have a couple, and we can go look at. Let's look at that. Let's do this. Let's throw gold up on J4X, and then I'm gonna see it's trading at 1770 basically. And let's go check out platinum, see where the spread is. It's been bouncing in the 530 to 590 area. Let's see what it's doing today. There's the platinum, and you can see it's trading at 1221 minus the 1770 comes out to be 549. So basically, it's holding around in that area. We've been a bear of this thing since it was trading in the 1055 area. We've seen a 100%. Is it 100%? No, I guess you make $500 on 1,000, so it's a 50% win there. We call this the Yellen spread. For some reason, with her in power, she does not like to see platinum get beat up. So that's fine with me. Maybe she has a lot of platinum jewelry. Who knows? So in the end result is that it's holding up here, and platinum is showing life in it and trying to get into a daily buy also, and in a weekly buy here for the last couple of weeks. Now we jump over to palladium. I think it was Daniel yesterday was mentioning that palladium is in the almost the 3000s area. It's very close. Yeah. Now today it is there. Let's give that a refresh. And so it goes into a buy where? Right here. So it's just going into the buy there. It's battled hard. You can see it's, or wasn't a buy there? So, yeah, and we're in a weekly buy since, this thing's been in a weekly buy for a while, since March 20th. This thing's been showing lots of buying in there. Lots of buying. All right, and that's the metals complex. Now, what did we see the South African Rand doing? We saw it moving up. And where did we see gold? Let me go back to the gold. And gold is sideways in here. And it's kind of up a little bit. Up a few bucks. See, it settled yesterday at 68 basically. And right now it's trading at 70. So it's up a couple of dollars. Which makes sense. We're in a weekly buy. And, it's the overall trend is up. Is your friend. All right, now, let's see, we've finished off the metals complex. We've done the energies complex. And so now what we'll do is we'll go over and take a look at the cryptos. So let's check out the cryptos. Crypto. All right, so we're looking at Coinbase a lot now. We'll look at. I know that you can see on the fact check spreadsheet down at the bottom on line 28 here. You can see that. If we can light that up, right there, you can see 2 weeks in a sell and 3 days in a sell. So Bitcoin's been. Matter of fact, I saw a headline this morning where they said that some of the other cryptos are catching up to Bitcoin. I guess they call it that, catching up to it. And, because they're making new all-time highs, and Bitcoin has stopped doing that at the moment. It's just so maybe it's called profit taking, traders. It's okay, it doesn't hurt anybody. The idea is to take a profit. Let's see where are we at here. Let's open up the. I think that's what it is. The stock combo. Yeah, there it is, right there. Or maybe not. I'm not sure where I keep it. Let's see. I keep it in 2 spots. We'll have to double check this. So here is, that's Apple. Okay, you can see Apple's in a daily sell for a few days. Now let's go to, there's Coinbase. There it is. There's Coinbase. You can see it's having its issues since it's opening. The syndicate is trying to keep it, by law, the syndicate that brought it out as a public issue has to support it for 30 days. And then you can see the intraday. Here you can see the pressure on it. And you can see our math doing our thing. It goes into the sell here, tries to go into a buy here and fails, and goes back into a sell after being in a sell here. So you can see here this morning they're pressing it down a little bit more. It just that there's weakness in the crypto universe at the moment. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Then we slide over to Mr. and Mrs. Bitcoin, which I understand Robin was telling me that they're going to create a mini contract, which would be very good. And then they're lifting it up now, trying to lift it up here today. Good. I can't imagine it having much issues. Look, the cryptos are a inflationary nouveau tool, and now none of this daily makes any sense. I guess it's a switch to month, so May, so the sell is there, so it's not reflecting 3 days now. See, before this was the sell, and this was down. So now the sell is there. And so it's perking its head back up, and we're in a weekly sell. So this is really sloppy. This is why I'm not a big fan of trading off of the Bitcoin. I'm happy about the Bitcoin. I like the Bitcoin, but I don't find the charts very well. I find the bid and offers are $200 wide sometimes. They're $50, $100 wide. 2 ticks can be literally $200, $300. It's really sloppy, very thin. They only trade 5,000 or 6,000 contracts a day, and that's why we don't follow them or Ethereum. Ethereum's the same way. It's only they're lucky if they get 3,000 contracts a day, 3,500 contracts a day. It's very thin, so it's very disappointing to try to trade those things. That's why we're so excited about the Coinbase. It's much tighter. There's a better market to it. We're hoping that if they would generate an ETF, it would be even better, or you just trade the underlying product itself. All right, and so with that, what we do is we drift over to the stock indices. That's what we do there. So we go to here, and we take a look at, to start off, the first one is NASDAQ. NASDAQ closed in a daily sell there yesterday. You can see it's been plateaued for almost 3 weeks out of the last 4. Pretty much from this range here on April 4th, it's just been hanging around there straight across, going up and down in a very tight range. You can see here our weekly is trying to pierce right there, which is going to be very interesting. If this closes in a daily sell, I might even go out short tonight, because maybe they're going to open it down for a change on a Monday instead of up, because that's what they seem to be doing all the time, is opening it up. Now we go over to the S&P 500. Oop. Sorry, there it is, so you can see it again. And so let me just go back to the NASDAQ 100 right there, which Dukascopy refers to as, we'll put it up on the screen here. They describe it as the Tech 100. Let's see, like that. And let's do this. Let's see, where's it at? Let's go and find it there. That's their Tech 100. This is the index that has it all. It's the best of indexes anymore. It's kind of funny. But at one time it was the junk index. Now it's the great index. Has all the major companies in it. And so you can see here it's rolling over on the J4X just like we are rolling over here. Right there. Same action. So you see it's doing the same thing there. And you can see the weekly is really, really small here. See that? So we'll see if they put any more pressure on it and put it into the sell by the end of the day, or if they if they put it, in there on Monday. We'll see how that goes. Now, let's go to the S&P 500 right there. You can see that is also now on a daily sell from yesterday and down. But you can see the weekly is much more firmer. And you can see it's been a much more upwardly slope than the NASDAQ 100 has been. And at the same time, we go and look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which almost looks a lot like the way the Tech 100 of Dukascopy or the NASDAQ 100 has been, sideways action. And we've been in a daily sell since here. And it zigzags, it's a little hard out, but in the end result, it's still staying there. And we are starting to see the weekly break below the time manifold and heading towards the zero line. It's going to take some work to get that there today. It's Monday's business, as they used to say in the hedge fund industry. Monday's business. Then, last but not least, we go to the most weakest of them all, of the four indices, and that is the Russell 2000. And you can see here it's fighting to go into a weekly buy, but it's been in a daily sell for the last 2 days here. Now, this could be, we talked about this before, this could be the A, this could be the B. It has a good look as a B. And then maybe they take it south. And that leads us into some selling across the board, some profit taking. Remember, today is the last day of April. And the old saying, who knows with the way quantitative easing is, but with the way it's been said, and we've had all those green dot weekly signals, is sell in May and go away. That's been a tradition for I don't know, 100 years or something like that. And so we're not seeing that because of the quantitative easing, but it could be a big sideways market. And in some ways, when you look at this in particular, isn't that like a head and shoulders here? So there's the shoulder, there's the head, here's the other shoulder. I mean, if this breaks down, you have to assume the rest of the market is going to break down with it. It's something to really think about. And you can see here it's been going in and out of these weeklies. It's not exactly holding strong trends. I mean, last time it had a strong trend was this long rampage buy that put you in the buy here at the 1800 area and took you all the way to the 2300 area. Yeah, to the 2300 area plus 23.5 area. So actually it took you to the 23 area before it went into the weekly sell here, built the head, built the other shoulder going in and out of weekly buys and sells, and now we find ourselves wondering, are we, we see the NASDAQ 100 or the Tech 100 trying to find its way into a sell, as you can see here, wondering if we're at the beginning of some sell in May and go away. I don't know. Mr. Biden is doing some of the strangest stuff, so anything's possible. But, he's got the throttle. He's got control of the Federal Reserve, so anything's possible. The Federal Reserve will just print more money, buy more stocks. And that's the way or they'll lend the money to the brokerage houses for free. Can you imagine? So someone comes up to you and says, here's $500 million. Why don't you do something with it? So you go out and you buy stocks and sell calls and buy puts, and you make 3 or 4%, and they give it to you. They give you $500 million for nothing. So I mean, they have been doing that. The Federal Reserve has been lending money to the brokerages for free to keep the market up. So you just put a synthetic bond on, make 2 or 3%. Say, gave me $1 billion, and I got to do something with it. Let's make some money with it for free. Why not? There are some money managers out there that do know how to use the options and the binaries, and you can create synthetic bonds, and that's probably what we're seeing here. So This game of the marketplace in the stock market is really, really upside down anymore. All right. Now, let's see. Where do we go from here? We we go from let's see. That is the Russell 2000. So our next adventure is out to the where is it? All right. So we've seen the indices, we've seen the metals, and we've seen the energies. Okay. Anybody care to see anything particular? We can go look around in the Forex universe, or we can do this. We can go take a look at the creme of la creme, the best of the best, and that is the the stocks themselves. We can take a look at some stocks if you care to look at some stocks like Apple and Amazon and so forth. That could be fun. Let's do that. Let's check them out. And let's see where we'll close here. We'll close the combo down. So let's close that. And that's the stock indice right there. It's bounced up from there's the lows of the day right there. So they, I guess, is that 7:30? I guess whatever news came out had no effect on it, and then somehow or another they just started buying and took off from. This is the Nasdaq 100, and it went from 829 up to almost 860, so about 31 points, 30 points, something like that, 27 points, because that's a high of what, 58? Yeah, 58 and 29, so that's 29 points. Not that much of a move, but interesting. Now let's go check out the stock indices. Right there. And we'll take a look at Apple. That's Tesla. We'll go through the list. So Apple yesterday came in a daily sell. You can see it's 3 days in a daily sell from here. They had their economic data come out, their success or failure of earnings. It was really nice. But our math kept on telling us don't trust it. It's in a weekly buy, so you can't short it either. So it's kind of, you're trapped into standing to the side. Now, you can see here it is, we just saw the weekly histogram flirt. There it is again. What is that? That's minus? Yeah, that's a plus again. Is that a plus? That's a plus. Plot 1 is a plus. Plot 6, remember we're running a super. So we're watching the histogram is plot 6. It's the 5. And then when the line is plot 1, it's the 3. So the 6 keeps on going minus. Now it's minus 14. And the green line has not moved down yet. And the daily is in a sell for the last 3 days. So this is going to be interesting. They're trying to sell the Apple computer down a little bit there. And it didn't take out this high. That's an interesting thing. Super, super, super earnings, and they didn't take out the high. Could this be the A, this the B, and the C again for selling in May and going away? Can't imagine them selling too far away. Now here, we were in a, what was it? We were in a weekly buy since here. For the earnings that came out, the stock has gone from 3,000 and change. Where is that? 3,300 all the way up to 3,550 basically. We did push into a sell here yesterday before the earnings, but again, we're in a weekly buy, so you can't take the short. And now we're trying to climb into the buy here. There is talk that this is going to split 10 to 1, so it'll be a $350 stock, and it will be put into the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So that'd be interesting. So now you have Walmart and Amazon in there, both. That'll be interesting. Would you believe that Walmart is 3 times bigger than Amazon? That's wild. Now, let's check out the Amazon of China. It's been flatlined for a while in the 240s, 230s to 250s for a few months. You can see here. You see it came down from the 300 area back in October. We haven't looked at this in a while. I don't have anybody following it. Went into the buy right here. Let's fix that while we're here. And then it stayed in the buy all the way to here, and then went into the sell again. There it is right there. And then, did it get into a buy here? No. And no. So it's been in the sell since here. It's been going sideways. There we go. So, excuse me there. And let's see what else we can do here. We'll widen this out. And you can see it goes into its little daily buys and daily sells, but overall it's been in a weekly sell now since this area here, since the 250 area, and it's just been kind of sideways down. Now, let's save that too. Save workspace. And save workspace as. There we go. Now let's take a look at what's underneath that, and that is the Chicago Mercantile Group. And that's been in a weekly buy since here? Yeah, I guess here. Let's see. 279 and minus 44. No, not until here. So it went into the buy right there. Like that, like that, like that. And stayed in a buy until, did it go into a sell right here? 11 plus, 58 plus, no. And it's going into a sell. That's interesting. So we're going into a weekly sell this week in the Chicago Merc Group. We can put that in there now. I'll remove it if it moves back up again. Interesting. And I think we've been in a daily sell for, this is today live, so you can see it's trying to lift up. There we are. So you can see this product is let's see right there. I don't know. This is kind of a plateau too. It's not really like, if anything, it could be the reverse head and shoulders. I don't know. This may be joining in with the sell in May and go away situation. It has that look to it. We'll see. Then we drift over to Facebook. What a rampage that beastie's in. It's been in a weekly buy since right there, is it? No, the next week, right there. There we are. There we go. So it's been in the buy since the 2-somethings, 280s, 270s. And now it's trading at 326. It's still in the weekly buy, but we've been in a daily sell since here, so it kept you out of it. But you couldn't be short because the bloody thing is, in a weekly buy. So it's been the Facebook has been kind of a tough trade. You made money out of it here, caught that nice ride up to there, and then it kept you out of this mess in here that just went sideways and down for 2.5, 3 weeks. Then you missed the two big giant gaps of earnings, which is nice also. So not bad. And then let's jump over to Google. And Google, same situation in a weekly buy since here. And you can see that the daily buy was like right here. So you caught pretty much all that win there. And then you stayed out of this stuff right here because we're in a weekly buy, so you can't take the shorts. The only one you could take was this one right here. You could take that long. And it didn't do anything but go sideways to down and give up a penny or two from the profits over here. And then it's been in oh, okay. So it gave you the buy here. Oh, that's interesting. Gave you the buy here and still stayed in the buy. And then it gapped up. Okay, so you actually were long for this gap up. Didn't realize that. Okay, let's just try that again. Let's put that in there. So right there goes into the buy. And it doesn't go into a sell until right here at the close of that day. So it actually caught the gap. Interesting. So it was a winner chicken dinner reading the let's see that there we are. So it caught the gap out of that. Interesting. And that's Google. They had all they had their earnings. All these big companies had their earnings. Then there's Goldman Sachs. Goldman's been tenacious. You know, it's been in a buy here, here, here. It's still in a buy, I guess. It hasn't been in a sell. It's been in a buy since, wow, back in here in November. It went into the buy in November right there and has not come out of it since on the weekly. It tried here, but the histogram jumped up to stop it from going into a sell. And so a lot of winner chicken dinners with the Goldman. Also at the same time, this protected you, got you out of the long here, and this nice sell-off from the 340 all the way down to the 320. You were not in that trade, which was nice, you know. So the math did a good job on the stocks themselves, the top caliber stocks. Then, let's see, where are we at? That's Goldman Sachs. Let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix has been in a weekly buy since here. Right there. Caught that nice move there. Okay. So what are we, flirting with the weekly sell there? Minus 16.14. And plot one is 0.05. Can you imagine? It's a $600, or what's it? $500 stock, and we're measuring, our measurement is, in this case here, that's the daily, right? But on a weekly basis, our measurement is 0.06 cents to give you an indication of being long or short. Is that wild or what? I find that to be totally fascinating all the time when I see it. So, all right, traders, everybody have a safe and a smart weekend. We will catch you on Monday. And traders, be a little careful over the weekend, you know. Be safe and smart, but also try to be a little hedged. You never know what could happen. The way some of these indices are starting to act, and like the CME group and all. All right. Happy trails to you until we meet again. That'll be Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our cyber trading friends. Ta-ta for now, traders.